Welcome along to the NALS Conference 2016 in York, and I'm joined now by industry commentator and host Kate Faulkner.
Hello.
Always lovely to see you, Kate.
Likewise.
Now, how important is it for agents to take a day out of their business to come along to an event such as this?
Well, we've only had the morning. I already need some painkillers because my head is hurting from all of the legal changes that Robert has talked about, all of the right to rent checks and the complexity, and then all of the electrical stuff as well. It's not the rules and regulations that are out there, it's how to interpret them. That's what makes your head hurt. And if you do not spend a day like this, which other agents aren't doing, I wouldn't want landlords and tenants to be touching those agents with a barge pole, because the work you have to do the right thing in lettings these days is you might as well be training as a solicitor, quite frankly. It is that hard. It really is unbelievable.
So this is a great way to keep up with industry updates, and also, of course, the networking is a very important part of it as well, isn't it?
Well, it is. I think we had, in the first session we were talking about ideas of how do you work against the cheap agents? What do you do when you come across a non-compliant agent or indeed a non-compliant landlord? And you only have the courage to kind of always do the right thing or come up with a good idea when we do that together, because if we all try and do that in our individual offices, much as we're competitors, we actually need to really club together now and help each other, because there's a lot of the industry's getting hit for a lot of stuff and blamed for a lot of things which isn't their fault.
So really there's a great feeling of creating solidarity here, isn't there?
Huge. And nationally we can do so much, but actually it'd be great to see NALS agents, for example, even competitors at a local level, getting together and sharing with other organisations in their local areas the learning that they've had today, or just that they were here today and they are just completely up to date on the rules and regulations. That's important stuff.
Yeah, I think we've worked out recently that there are over 145 government statutes and regulations that landlords have to be compliant to. So from an agent's perspective, surely this is a good marketing tool to go out to landlords and say, we can take care of all of this for you, because surely, landlords are finding it more and more onerous to keep up themselves because they're in busy day jobs.
Yeah, I am quite categoric. If you are a landlord, if you do not belong to a landlord association, or you don't use an NALS RICS agent, I don't think you've got much hope of keeping up with the law. And if you're a landlord, you rent one or two properties and you're full-time working, you haven't got a chance. I can't do it myself. I have a wealth of people to help me when I'm writing books or articles. So if I can't do it, how can they? So it is impossible to keep up. And it's not just the number of laws or knowing the law exists, it's the interpretation. So what was so helpful about today was the huge numbers of questions that people are asking, because there's a load of grey areas, and it's, well, what is right or wrong, and how does the Home Office feel about this situation or that situation? If you don't come to events like this, you don't get that learning.
Well, it must be great for agents to be able to interact with the Home Office in this kind of environment, because they wouldn't get that opportunity elsewhere, would they?
No, they wouldn't, and I don't think that necessarily, if you're in the Home Office, you're in a government agency, you're not going to necessarily appreciate how much you're asking people, or indeed understand the job they have to do. And I think a lot of the questions today, brilliantly answered, I have to say, by the Home Office. But if they hadn't asked those questions, then it wouldn't have got the Home Office thinking, well, actually, what is the best way to answer that? And I think it's the Home Office has learned some stuff, I would hope, from today as well. And that's what we need. We need them to understand our business.
So hopefully today's event is a bit like dropping a pebble in a pond. The ripples will go out, people will take it back into their everyday workaday worlds, and the positivity and the learning will spread.
Yeah, and I'm really proud of everybody that came today. Letting agents do not get thanked for the work that they do. They work incredibly hard on behalf of landlords and tenants. They cannot legally just look after a landlord, they have to look after the tenant too. I think that's completely misunderstood. And for all the guys and girls that made the effort to come today, massive thank you for the work that you do, because it's a big, it's a lot of time out, but if they don't take this time out, they can't do their job properly.
Well, I second that. And also, Kate, we must thank you as well for your continued efforts to improve the experience of the private rented sector for everybody. You're such a great champion of the best people and the best ways forward. So thank you for everything that you've brought to today's event as well.
Well, that's really kind. I mostly chat about it. It's everybody else that goes away and does all the hard work. So, yeah, but that's very kind. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate.